The XT19HRT Off-Grid Extreme from MDC-USA is a really cool trailer that they came out with just recently, and you'll notice that it has lots of bells and whistles, features that you will want for your off-grid off-road travels. We're going to get into it. Here we are, the XT19HRT Off-Grid Extreme. MDC-USA, they came to the North American market just a few years ago with a really robust, capable trailer. It has ground clearance, it has a really sturdy chassis, it has a fantastic suspension system. They really thought through what it would take to make sure that you can go way out there confidently and come back safely. Well, they introduced this 19-foot model. It's just over 6,600 pounds. The tongue weight is just under 600 pounds. Water capacity like crazy. I'm talking, it has about 42 gallons of water capacity. I will not have the ability to tell you everything about it, so I'm going to put a lot of details and descriptions, specs and things like that in the video description down below this video. However, I think it's time that we take a look and see what this has for you on the inside, and then we'll go look around the outside. But let's get started inside. Let's go. Here we are inside the XT19HRT Off-Grid Extreme. Again, it's an MDC-USA product, and let's get a good look at where I'm standing. I'm 6'5" in my shoes. I have a good amount of space. This is a non-slide out trailer, 19-foot box. Take a look around. Let your eyes kind of soak in how nice it feels. It does feel modern. There's not too much in the way of browns in here. There's really nice surfaces, easy to clean. It's a nice look, nice feel. So as per our usual, let's start where I'm standing. Right inside the door here, I'm standing in the master bedroom area, and it is a queen size bed. And you'll notice that it's north and south facing with two ring lights, a nice little headboard area. And they have a really nice, I guess, inner spring mattress here. Very cool. Now I'm gonna come around here. We'll talk about the space. All of the cabinetry in this trailer is going to have these kind of push button pulls on them, but you're not there yet. You still have to turn them to get them to really release. So that's a lot of an assurance that while you're traveling off-road, these are not going to come flying open and all your stuff isn't going to be spilled out. So it's pretty deep. Now, obviously the front of the trailer has a bit of a curve to it, so you lose a little bit of height as you go further back. But it is a good storage space in there. It's a good, about a foot deep, and very good organization. It does have a divider in the middle, and we have some hanging room on both sides. So it's about identical. It's obviously a mirror image on the other side. Hanging bar. Now this goes really deep. It's good. From this line right here, it's probably another 13, 14 inches deep down. So you can hang some, longer shirts, coats, pants, what have you. And then we have some storage on the side, maybe the nightstand area. It is divided right here, finished out nicely, about 10 inches in each of these areas. Same latches on them. Again, great feeling materials. Actually, if I look at it, it is obviously smooth and easy to clean, but it has a little bit of sparkle to it. Pretty cool. I do wonder, actually I know, this disc is a inductive charger for your devices, your phone or what have you. So right there at night, you don't have to plug in the cable if you don't want to. You just set your phone that is inductive charging ready and you're good to go. We do have power outlet here. Now all of these residential type outlets, you're going to need one of two ways to power them. Plugged into shore power, like a standard RV, or generator, some outside source, or this trailer has a 3,000 watt pure sine wave inverter. It's a RENOGY inverter, so it's a really good one. It's actually located right down here. I'll show you in a minute. And if you have that on and engaged, it will power your outlets on the inside of your trailer. It also has the ability to power the air conditioner and the refrigerator and the microwave. So that's something to consider. This thing comes standard with an incredible energy package. I do have some USB outlets and a standard 12 volt style outlet here. And again, it's all mirrored on the other side. Same outlets, same power solutions, same storage. So if I go up in this area, I have this really cool vent. Now it's a sunroof. You'll see the sunlight coming in on this beautiful day. I can open it using this bar right here. I have to unlatch it, and let's go ahead and do that. And then you just push it up, and it opens on some props, some struts, and great for airflow, great for sunlight. It also, at night, you want this area a little bit better. It has perimeter lighting all the way around. If you want this open, but you want to have nothing get in, we do have a bug screen or a screen that pulls out this way. If you have it closed and you just don't want the sunlight coming in, let's see here. Let's latch this back. It does have a blackout shade. Let's latch that. Right here, look at this. You can sleep as late as you want. Same thing for the side windows, I'll show you those. You have the same screen and blackout shade. So it can stay really dark if you want it to. It can stay really open and airy from cross breeze and a breeze from top if you wanted to. Lots of options to feel comfortable in this space. Now I'm going to move across. You don't really have storage underneath the bed here. What you do have, however, is a little bit of access space down here below. Now let's take a look behind door number 1 and door number 2. And I don't know, it might be a good place for shoes down here. Storage bins, tubs, something like that. But on this side, though you have some storage space, along the back here is that 3,000 watt RENOGY pure sine wave inverter. Now, one thing that they did, MDC-USA did with this trailer, is they went ahead and went all in on the RENOGY ecosystem. So it's RENOGY batteries. They're the REGO batteries, and they have 800 watts of batteries on here. 800 amp hours of batteries on here, and they're lithium ion. They have the pure sine wave inverter. They have solar panels on top. It's a crazy amount of solar panels. This comes standard with 1,225 watts of solar panel ready to go on this trailer, standard. So really, really incredible. They have RENOGY MPPT controllers, solar controllers, all of that. So it's a full top to bottom, left to right, RENOGY power ecosystem. Really cool. And it means that it's kind of a one-stop shop. If you're ever wanting to know how something works, wanting a little product support, if you will, one place to go. And RENOGY has a really good track record of supporting their customers and their products. So I love that. We're going to step up here. One thing that you do have is these puck lights that are really good. They make for real comfortable lighting in the space, but you can turn those off, and then you'll have, and you may or may not be able to see in your current view, but we'll roll in some B-roll. There's indirect lighting across the top of this cabinetry here, and there's indirect lighting underneath the cabinetry at my feet. So you can make this feel really nice. There is also lighting, a strip of LED lighting all the way down under here, and then you have a strip of lighting right here, and of course the range hood over the stove also has its own fan and light. So really, really nice. I do see up here on the ceiling just a few things. This is a Truma Aventa 13.5 BTU air conditioner. Really good for this space. Remember, it's only 19 feet with no slide outs, so this will work beautifully. And it also has a Truma Vario heat furnace, and that puts out 11.5 BTUs of heat, and it's ducted heat, so it's not coming out of one spot near the floor. It's actually ducted throughout, so you have a nice even heat, and being ducted, it's a little bit quieter, so I appreciate that a lot. Now, so that takes care of the roof. Again, a clean line. You'll have a speaker here. There's another speaker right about where you're standing right now. I have a smoke detector, and these fans, there's one on both sides of the bed. These fans are really cool because they're very positionable. You release them like this, and then you can move them around. You'll notice that they can be rotated this way, around. I mean, lots of options. But there's more to them. There's buttons on this side, and there's buttons on the other side. One side controls fan speed, and the other side controls runtime. So you could set it up to simply run for, let's say 15 minutes or so on. I don't have the exact times. It could be 20 minutes, 40 minutes, 60 minutes. You'll have to look that up. But it will shut off. So if you just need airflow to be comfortable while the sun's going down, before you go to bed, and you want to turn off once you're asleep, this has a built-in timer, very positionable, and these fan blades are really soft. And so I've tested it. You put your finger in there, it really doesn't hurt. It just kind of stops the fan blade, and they kind of fold out of the way. So really cool, safe for those fingers, large or small. We've changed the angle for you so you can see what we're doing right here by the door. Obviously, I have that smoke detector, and right here, this is usually a converter box, but not in the MDC products because they have that full RENOGY system. Really cool. This is just a couple of breakers. Now, you have some extra spots here if you wanted to add more circuits for whatever electrical projects you have, but it's just a breaker for the inverter and for the mains. 2 breakers, all good and well. Let's take a look at this set of switches. Now, the switches are different in MDC. They just kind of lever, but they're very nice and positive. So this one is just getting our puck lights on the ceiling. This one gets that indirect lighting above all the cabinets. Really cool. And this one gets all of the ground effect lighting, floor indirect lighting, if you will, right near your feet. So really neat there. Now I'm going to have you come down with me as we go down to a really big bank of switches down below. So follow me down. You might have some trouble seeing this at that angle, but I have B-roll. And these first 2 switches right by the doors, you can reach in, you can you can turn on the power to the electric awning and put that out. It's just over 14-foot awning electric. It's fantastic. Then next to it, we have a remote on-off switch for the onboard RENOGY inverter. Now, that is really cool. It's obviously a RENOGY ecosystem, but having a remote switch means that you don't have to get into that cabinet and turn it on and off. Really cool. Next to that, we have an outdoor light right there, and we have right where my foot is, there's a ring of LED lights. You might be able to see it. You might not. I'll show you in B-roll if not. A switch right in the step. What I like about this bank of switches is that it's reach-in access for a lot of the things you might need from outside the trailer. This bank of switches right here is all outdoor lighting. You have really cool lights, floodlights if you will, on the front of the trailer, on the back. You have really cool lighting on the passenger side and the driver's side. That's what this bank of switches is. And then this one drove me nuts trying to figure out exactly what they meant. So I spent a little bit of time figuring out. It says receptacle and AC isolator switch. Is it air conditioning? Is it alternating current? And to what point? Like, is it everything? Well, it turns out it is. You can reach in the door and flip that switch, whether you're running on shore power, generator power, or off the inverter. If you want to completely cut off power to anything on the alternating current, the AC circuits, whether it be those receptacles inside or outside, or the air conditioner, or the microwave, you can totally cut off that circuit and run only your DC 12-volt equipment. What I like is that it is a master switch no matter what you're using, battery power or shore power, and it's right here so you can just reach in if you want to make sure that you have receptacle power outside or not. So good placement, very positive. It's a very easy click. You just heard the microwave go, I'm alive. I also have a little bit of safety here with your fire extinguisher, accessible inside and outside. Perfect. Let's move on. I've now changed position. I've come a little bit further into the trailer towards the back, and let's go ahead and look at this dinette area. There's a lot actually going on here. Again, we have those puck lights indirect lighting above, really nice cabinetry. I'm going to open these up for you, and you'll see that they are divided. Very, very accessible, deep, I would say over 12 inches, probably more than the 14-inch range. And again, a good height and nice build here. LED light strip here, really nice window, great pads here. We're going to talk about these pads, what's underneath this dinette area here in a second. But while I'm at this window, all of these side windows, they are an actual acrylic double pane window, so you have a bit of a thermal value there that helps you out. You'll notice I have a screen on it right now, and I can easily have a blackout shade all the way up or half and half, so that's cool. And I can separate those, just undo those. And that allows me access to all of these clasps. And then this will open up awning style. So let's say that you want great airflow, sunlight airflow and all that. Open all these up, and maybe a slight downward rain or drizzle comes down. Because they open up awning style, it's still blocking rain from getting in. Obviously, a strong gust of wind will push that rain sideways. You might have a different issue. I'm going to push these release buttons. And let's see how this works. I believe I'm going to get a couple clicks. Okay. Right? Okay. So those clicks hold it at different levels, and it's a really beautiful thing. You just pull down that bug screen, you're good to go. And then to release it, all the way back down. Now these clasps have a little bit of a two position system that allows you to almost close it and still get a perimeter of gap around the seal so you can get some air in and out. It's great. I'll just put it in this first position, and if I did that all around, it'd be pretty secure and allow for that airflow gap right there. But I wouldn't want to travel that way. So let's go ahead and come to the second position where it really compresses that gasket, that seal. And again, we're good to go. Now let's talk about this really cool table. It obviously adjusts up and down and whatnot, so you can make a sleeping space for a rather long human. But it has a few levers on there, and I'm going to run you through those real quick. So there's one here, and then there's one underneath. So this one actually allows you to make that bed. I'm going to release it, and you're going to notice that I'm in a not great position to push it down. But slide this pad out of the way a little bit, move this to the right position, and you're good to go. Now the other lever underneath here, I'm going to release that, and that allows for really smooth ability to relocate this table. I may have it all the way over there. Yeah. Really smooth movement of this table. So very, very sturdy and adjustable. Let me relatch that. Good feel to it. Underneath here, I do have some receptacles. I have your 12-volt receptacle, USB, and some residential receptacles there as well. And then over on this side, I have your carbon monoxide and propane detector for safety purposes. But there's a lot going on underneath this bench seat, so let's talk about that. Underneath this portion of the seating is just one of your two really large 400 amp hour batteries. Now it's a RENOGY REGO, R-E-G-O, Regio? Doesn't really matter. It's a really cool battery from RENOGY. It's 400 amp hours underneath this seat. That is attached to another 400 amp hour RENOGY battery under this seat. And that battery has a master shut-off switch above it to separate, to take those out of the loop and whatnot. You know, if you're in storage whatnot, you want to make sure that there's no parasitic draws coming off of those batteries. In the very last part of the seating, closest to where you're viewing from right now, is other associated RENOGY equipment. You have your MPPT solar charge controllers, and you have some other stuff. It's not really the most technical of videos, but just know that RENOGY is the entire ecosystem. A lot of that equipment is under here. It talks together beautifully, seamlessly. It's fantastic. All located under here. I think I've covered all of this area pretty good. I think let's go ahead and go over here to the other side where we'll find the kitchen and some other cool things. As I come forward in this kitchen area, again, this is your really cool Truma air conditioner. I did fail to mention when I was in the bedroom area that there is a television and it can be viewed from the bed area or from the dining and kitchen area very easily. It rotates around. Microwave, nice Furrion unit, and then you have your DVD, CD, MP3 unit. So that television actually can be routed or is routed through the speaker system. And then I have a monitor system to monitor the capacities of your tanks. Now it does have two 21-gallon freshwater tanks, 42 gallons total. It has a 21-gallon gray tank, and then the black water from your toilet goes into a cassette because it's a cassette toilet. We'll talk about that when we get there. But these are your gauges. Obviously this trailer has nothing, so they're flashing nothing. This is your Truma control, and you can control a lot of things from here. It can control your water heater, it can control your furnace, and it has some control over your air conditioner, which also has a remote control, which is in one of these cabinets right now. But you'll notice that it doesn't power up, and I'm going to tell you about that in just a minute. We're going to see it powered up. But we have those nice cabinets for a quick look. There you go. Good amount of space, also divided, hold open. Good clasps, range hood with light and fan. It's Furrion unit. And then another one of those great windows. 3-burner, a lot of space on this Furrion stove. You could get, I would say, a large pot and 2 of your smaller pots and make a really good meal here with a few sides going. Not only that, you have an actual stove or an actual oven underneath that. Notice the lights right there, and a good amount of space here. Coming back across, we have a good deep sink. It's easily 12 inches across and probably 14 or more inches this way. Good deep sink. And then you have this area where I would be setting things either to dry or whatnot, or that's pretty much it. Prep space, it'll work. And then we have drawers. Drawers are such a great way of organizing, obviously, a kitchen, and obviously you're also close to your bedroom. So if you needed a place for your socks, maybe use one of these. There's 4 of these in this bank. We have regular cabinets down below that, and this has venting on it, this lower one. So let's get a look at why that might be. Let's close this. When I come down here, I see there's a lot of plumbing going on here, and that venting is part of the way they build in the 4-season capabilities. So with the venting, if your cabin is warmed above freezing, then this plumbing is protected from the cold. What do they do about the outside? Well, on the exterior, your holding tanks have heating pads on them to keep them from freezing up, and your plumbing outside of the cabin are heated lines. So inside, it's the heating from the cabin that keeps it all where it needs to be. Heated lines outside and heating pads on the tanks. It's a really thought out, we can handle it kind of situation going on here. Now I did tell you that there is ducted heating all throughout. Here's one of those ports, and you're going to notice that it can be a little bit directional, or you can just close that port off if you want to. I really like ducted heating. Ducted air too if we can have it. This one doesn't, but it's a 19-foot trailer. It's not that big a deal. Under here, you could use this for a little bit of storage, but you'll notice in the B-roll that it's not that much space because there is some piping there. So use what you can. Let's come back up here, and this is a really cool cabinet. So I'm going to have you come around and we're going to look at it. Not much cabinet space, if you will, but a really cool brains of the operation kind of space. So let me run across this, and we'll have some B-roll as well. If I can run across this bottom area, these are master switches for different things. Look at this. This one says toilet and fridge. Well, those are a separate 12-volt circuit, because this is a 12-volt fridge, and the toilet, it has its own circuit built in there. So we'll turn that on, and you'll notice the lights came on the refrigerator for the controls. Having master control on various circuits when you're dealing with an off-grid, off-road trailer that's designed to be not plugged in at an RV park is really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. And then we have DC outlets. This controls all of those USB and circular 12-volt ports all throughout, inside and out. So if I needed to plug in a phone or use one of those inductive phone chargers over by the bedroom, I do need to flip this on. Again, a way to enable or disable full circuits within this trailer. Fantastic. Now this next switch is the water heater switch. It says what it does. And the following switch, the very last of these rocker switches on the bottom level, is the furnace switch. Now it supplies power to the head unit over there, providing that that switch over by the entry door, that it isolates the receptacles and the AC power. If that is in the on position, whether you're on shore power or on inverter power, if that's on, then when I flip this switch, I get a red light. And over here, let's see if we can follow, we have power to our Truma unit over here now. And it's really cool because I can go into this part and I can have heater, I can have AC, I can control those things right here. Now I'm going to back out of that because I don't need to do that at the moment. I can go to this next one. I can set water temperature. It's off right now. I don't have water to heat. And then I can control fan speed. There's a few things you can do in here. This isn't in depth, but this gets power from the actual furnace switch over here. So let's go ahead and get that. I'm going to turn off that power. Now we're on to this big red dial here. Now that's another battery cutoff switch right there in this panel, easy access. And then I get over to another really cool kind of brains of the operation panel here. This is a RENOGY unit. And right now I can see that all that solar, remember it's 1,225 watts of solar panels on the roof. They're bringing in my batteries, because we've done a few things with this trailer. They're at 75% right now, but they are charging currently at a rate of 19.7 amps. And so it imagines 800 amp hours of batteries will be fully charged in our sunlight as it is right now with our lights on. Every light in this camper is on right now. That will be fully charged in 10 more hours. If I turn these lights off, then I imagine that we'll be fully charged in 5 hours or less. Great information. I can actually tap on the battery. I can see battery 1, I can see battery 2, what their charge status is, their draw, what's going into them. Lots of information. Again, this isn't a very technical video, hopefully. Just know that the RENOGY ecosystem is fantastic, sophisticated. This little brain here is your friend. Now we do have water tank heating switches. That should, again, cue into its cold weather capabilities. Just on, off, right there. And then what are these little bulb things? They're kind of squishy button bulb things. Well, what they are resettable fuses for the labeled circuits. So I have your inset lights. If all of your inset lights on that circuit go out, you'll be able to reset that fuse right there. Water heater, DC outlets, toilet fridge, furnace, AC, pump, water pump gauge, stereo, awning, I mean, right there. So if you see these little bulbous things, those resettable fuses, really cool. You don't have to keep a pack of fuses around because you're set. It comes with resettable ones. Down to this 12-volt refrigerator. Now it's just over 6 cubic foot, and they don't want it to open on you while you're traveling, so they have this really cool like lock, unlock knob here, and then you can push that and release it. There you go, strap loose. And a really great refrigerator. Let me see if I can get into a better position. We have crisper bins, we have trays that can be changed to different heights, great storage in the door, and then down below, let's set that up. Could lock it, there we go, locked for travel, unlock for use. A freezer down below. Again, it's very modern look, but also modern design. 12 volt, cools off fast, very efficiently. And then down below that, we have another, what looks to me to be another equipment cupboard. So I'm going to come down there and then we're going to see what we have. Well, sure enough, this is part of our Truma system. And that does it for the main living space in this MDC-USA trailer. And there's more. So what do I mean by more? The bathroom in here is rather large. Obviously, here we go, a lot of space. Let's talk about this, and then we'll talk about the shower area. It has a sliding door. Obviously, it latches in place, really good for travel. I have headroom, a great window, operates just the same as the other windows that we showed you out in the main cabin. Great cabinetry of the same type. There we go. Indirect lighting above those. Same beautiful presentation. A fantastic space right here. Lighting underneath. A great sink. Soap holder. Really, really nice. Now, I want to take a seat on this toilet, and we're going to be able to see legroom, wingspan, and some extra storage as well. So here we are. This is that Thetford Cassette toilet. We'll show you how to use it on the outside. But beside me, I have a cubby and a little secret. If I lift this up, there's some access to equipment right down there. In fact, it's not even much equipment. That's actually a lot of hidden storage right there. Like one line of plumbing in the back of it. I'll show you in B-roll. Then we have, again, more of those drawers. They did such a great job there. And then this has venting on the front. That tells me that there's some plumbing lines there, but also storage. They've really thought of a lot. You have your indirect lighting up there. You have your indirect lighting near the floor. Really great. But it's time to go over there and see if I fit at 6'5" in my shoes, 6'4" barefoot, in that shower system. Let's go. And this is it. A true stand-up shower. I am standing in here. The only thing that's making contact is this cap on my head. So I have a vent in the roof, and it's an electric fan, and it has the perimeter lighting, just like that much larger version over the bed. I have this really cool towel hanger system on the wall here. There's actually one above the toilet too, so you have lots of towel hanging options. This is a one-piece surround, easy to clean. The roof is easy, great amount of space in here. An adjustable handheld shower head with a soap holder. We have a towel bar over here. You have a bar where you can put your shampoos and your conditioners. And heck, you could even put your weeds. There you go. Aussies, they think of everything. Well, let's head out and check out more of this really cool XT19HRT trailer. Okay, on the outside of this really cool trailer, it's a beautiful Central Texas day in January, but before I move on from this area, it is a very nice door, and it has a full-length screen door, and we're gonna separate those two, and you can see, again, framed really well. It has this really cool triple lug system, so when you are set up for travel, it has 3 really solid points of contact to keep this all together while you're traveling, bumping over uneven terrain. And again, screen door, protected, a nice situation. Also, take a look at this. Again, the step is lit, but it has this insert, and I bet that they have this just to keep them looking nice during transit. But let's really show you that step. You can hold on to that because it's really sturdy. Keeps your floor clean, but there's that perimeter lighting on that step right there. They use a lot of great seals around everything. I'm going to show you what they call the triple seal on these compartments. But let's go ahead and close that door. Nice step. A lit handle. You're not going to be able to see this in the direct sunlight, but this button turns on and off that LED light right there. So what else can we say out here? 14-foot awning, it's electric. Let's maybe do this area because it's cool, that's why. So, lockable. Here's that triple seal. 1, 2, and 3. The reason they do this is that as they designed these trailers first for the Australian market, they're designing for them to travel in the outback, where obviously dust and sand are a bit of an issue in the dry months. So they want to keep dust from ingressing inside all these cabinets. So they seal up really good. You're going to notice that they have some resistance there as those seals start to compress, and you have to use these to cam them into a real tight situation. You see how it kind of sucks it in to seal it up? They want you protected and your gear protected. But you saw more in there. What was it? This is a pull-out kitchen, a very nice one. They wanted it to be really held in place, so we have one latch that releases there and another one on the side. I'm going to pull this out on very easy slide rollers. So here we go. So very solid. Before I open this up for you, I'm going to tell you that there's a power connector, a 12-volt power connector right there, and there's a light here. Again, too bright out here today to see that on and off, but I am turning it on and off. And now, let's open this thing up. On this side, you have a 3-burner Thetford stove, and I'm going to open up the little wings on the side, the little wind wings. They kind of latch in, pull up. There we go. Glass top covering it. Very, very nice. A little bit of storage. Look at these handles. Very satisfying. Organization for your utensils and supplies. Soft close. Another just unfinished out drawer. It's nice metal. Looks nice. Soft close. Now this is connections for water and for your gas, and they will plug in down here with quick connect system. And then I'm going to open this up. So this folds up and it really kind of finishes the space out. I want to latch these in. I'm going to pull this, release. Hot and cold water, really great. We aren't quite done yet because on this outside edge, you're going to find this little release right there, and I can pull out another bit of prep space with their logo on your bottle opener. Imagine how nice it would be to cook on a day just like this, outside under your electric awning. It's sturdy and well built and has all that you need. Really cool. But you might want to keep some of your rations and supplies with you. So over here, you can obviously go in to your trailer, but what if you had another refrigerator along with you? Well, you're going to see a lot more supplies that this ships with, but this is a tray that pulls out, and it is perfectly designed for a large 12-volt chest-style refrigerator or freezer. So it has the same latch mechanism here and a push button there. And again, I have a lot of stuff here, so I'm going to clear this out, and we're going to show you what this really does for you. Now I've got that all cleared out. What was all that stuff? This trailer comes with so many things, and we're not going to be able to set it all up, but some of that equipment has to do with an annex room that completely encloses this passenger side outdoor space. It attaches to the awning, it goes in these rails here, and it clips on. There's even a draft skirt that goes all the way across the front underneath. So it can be a really expanded space out here. But all that aside, I got it out of here, and we have this pull-out tray that accepts that 12-volt refrigerator, and you can see it's really a pass-through storage. If you don't want a refrigerator or freezer, fine, utilize this differently. Now you have a light right here, and you have an Anderson-style plug for power for that refrigerator freezer. It's very secure, but if you don't have that kind of wiring on yours, it does have a standard circular 12-volt receptacle right there. Nicely finished out. We'll get back to this on the other side of the trailer so you can see how it's finished out and some other things. Again, to make everything so secure, you have your 3 seals, very heavy duty door, lockable, protect your stuff, protect that really cool refrigerator. And as I come down, you're gonna notice on all four corners, they have extremely sturdy stabilization jacks. Now they are not leveling jacks. You're gonna level this trailer the traditional way with the tongue jack for the front to back and something underneath your wheels for the left to right. But once you are level, these guys will keep you from feeling like it's a little bit like a trampoline when you're moving around inside. Very stable, sturdy, and easy to use. You just pull this out and lever it up and away you go. Let's go ahead and take a note of a few things as we work our way around the back of the trailer. Outdoor speakers, lights for the outside. There's a switch inside here for this light. And I'm gonna come around. You're gonna notice that it has this nice metallic plating all the way around, front, side to side, back. This is another prep table right there, power. These are your residential style receptacles. And remember that switch on the inside that I said isolates the receptacles and the AC power? You can just reach in and isolate these, turn them on or off, you're good to go. Good placement for that. Now these are 16-inch wheels with just really great off-road tires on them. And we're gonna roll in some B-roll so you can see the really cool off-road ready suspension that they put on these. Now these are trailing arm independent suspension. This one has its own suspension, this one has its own suspension, and their corresponding tires or wheels on the other side do as well. Very, very rugged. This frame here is a 6-inch by 2-inch galvanized hot rolled steel frame to build everything on top of. The framing for the cabin is all aluminum, welded aluminum, but this guy, sturdy steel, galvanized, ready to go. We'll roll in some B-roll of the undercarriage of this so you can see how it all makes sense, how the tanks are protected. There's lines to heat those, and you'll also be able to see another view of that really cool suspension from down below. Let's come on back. This would be your outdoor entertainment area. You can mount a television here, and you have some power right underneath in this cabinet. Probably a little bit bright for the camera right now because we're in direct sunlight. Again, seals, lockable, speaker, and they want you to know what you have on here. RENOGY power ecosystem, the Mega Hub for those wheels, so sturdy. Now this one, the protected by Tucson sway control, what is that? Well, this has built-in electronic sway control, and what it does is different than many other sway controls. It's obviously electronic, not mechanical, but instead of activating your electric brakes, and by the way, they're 12-inch electric brakes on each of those wheels. But instead of activating both sides and just dragging both sides of the trailer, it operates really fast, and it activates only the side of the trailer that needs sway control to line it out. So it activates faster. Now it does that in microseconds, milliseconds, just really, really fast, and it works well. It's a Tucson sway control unit, but because it's an off-road trailer, you gotta know, is it going to adversely affect me when I leave the pavement, the smooth stuff? No. It can detect when you're moving a little bit more slowly and that you have more rough terrain. It senses that and it says, this is not the environment for me to be locking up those tires without the driver being in full control. It turns off, and then it just monitors when you go from off highway back to nice pavement. Really cool unit. Tough tracks, the suspension, and then all the Truma equipment right there mentioned. Let's come around the back side. You have a great sturdy ladder because it's no problem for you to get on this roof. I say no problem. There's one problem. There's not much place to stand up there because there's so much solar. 1,225 watts of solar. And they really thought this through. The way they mounted it is to make sure you have a good air gap underneath one of those panels so that you have a good thermal airflow underneath to make sure those panels stay just as efficient as they can. Because if a panel it can't breathe, it gets really hot, then they become less efficient. We want as much efficiency as we can squeeze out of a solar system. They put a lot of panels up there. They want it to breathe, so you get the best use out of them. I do also see, again, we have that light. Now those switches are just inside the door. This throws so much light. If you're working back here, you have a rear view camera, a full size, exact same hub, exact same wheel, spare tire, a fantastic strong bar back here, and recovery hooks right there. Really, really cool. Again, 4-corner stabilization. Let's come around the side. This is a lockable cabinet door and again, seals, again, protected from the weather, for your cassette. And I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. And there it is. It's about 5 gallons. And let me show you really how the use case scenario. It's time to empty this. You take it by rolling it like luggage, to a vault toilet, to the dump station, what have you. And you get it there, and you rotate this around, and you'll take this cap off. Then, as we're going to that dump station inlet or to that vault toilet, you're going to you don't really want this thing glugging. As you know, you turn a water jug over, it glugs and can make a splattery mess. It won't happen here because we have this valve that allows you to relieve that vacuum that's created. So it pours smoothly. Then you can close this up and put it back in. There's 2 ways to put chemical in here. You can either, while it's out, drop chemical right in, or you can install this right back into its spot here. And then from the inside of the camper, open up the toilet, open up the valve, drop your tank treatment right in from there. So there you go. What is this? Also lockable. And we have another door. This is a way to fill up the flush water tank specifically for that toilet. So instead of plumbing it into your 42 gallons of fresh water or having a tank fill down here in the cassette unit, they have a tank fill right there to make sure that you have water for flushing. Now it has a seal right here. I'm going to close it up. That's lockable. And then you have a nice cam style latch like the other doors and another seal to make sure that it is dust tight and also weather resistant or water resistant. Keeps ingress from happening. If you go to a slightly wider shot, you might be able to see just some of the edges of those solar panels above me. Really, really cool to be able to see it, but also to see that air gap I was talking about to make sure you have airflow. This is the back of your Truma furnace. And then what do we have here? Well, this is your fill ports for those water tanks. So city water inlet, rear water tank, and then you have front water tank above here. We have a lockable outdoor handheld shower, hot and cold. All of this is behind this sealed door with nice gaskets on it to keep it protected from the cold, because this guy right here is it's so common for that to be the one place that gets affected in a freeze situation. But if it's behind the sealed door, you're in much better situation to face that challenge. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and close it up. If you have this all locked up and you still need access, you have a port right here, and I can see my city water right there. So I can feed my city water connection hose right through there, keep this locked. No one can mess with your other inlets or your shower system. Really good looking out right there. But I have this shower head here. So many trailers, so many RVs will have just that. One of the things, along with that annex room that MDC provides with these trailers, that goes right here on this rail, is an outdoor shower surround. So if you're in a place where you could set that up, that can be quite a handy thing. You can knock off all that mud and muck from all of your adventures in the day while you're still outside. Or maybe It's just cool to shower while still protected in the outdoors. I mean, just imagine the places that you'll go, and it's just a natural situation. Really cool that they provide a sturdy shower system right there. This is the back of that Truma AquaGo system. Now I can see this yellow tab, so I know that it's not set up for use at the moment. That protects it from dust coming in there, right there. But this is a great system. It is just so close to instantaneous hot water. I wouldn't say it's instant hot water, but it's so very close to that. It has a little mixing tank here. As far as flushing this thing out, you just lower this little area and it just flows out. Now I'm going to show you something. There may be a little bit of water in here, but I'm going to show you something. This guy. This is an accessory from Truma, and it is to make sure that you have, you've protected your water heater itself, by itself, from freezing temperatures. You see this little electrical lead right here, and it's a filter. It's all built together, but Truma, it's an accessory from Truma that you can get. MDC goes ahead and includes it with your trailer. So you have your filter and you're protected from the cold. MDC took care of you there. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in place, rotate this up, latch it in, and away you go. You do have a power switch right there for the unit on the outside. This is your 30 amp inlet for shore power. Pretty standardized situation. Down below, we have these Anderson connectors, and let's see here. 1, 2, 3. If you want to add still more solar to this unit, maybe park in the shade for a while, but put a lot of solar outside in the sun, they're ready for you. And this is so much more capacity. You can get more power into your batteries more quickly using this style connector, these Anderson connectors, versus using those small little SAE style plugs, which I currently use on my trailer. Works fine, works beautifully. This works faster and better. Positive closing, and then lockable again. This is at the front of that, the other side of that pass-through storage. And you're gonna find, again, more of that equipment. Tent room or shower room equipment. They don't mess around when they provide everything you need. Annex room, shower room, good to go. Really nice finished out situation and lights on both sides. Now let's go to the front. At the front of this trailer, on this A-frame area, we have a really great, very functional tongue box. Obviously it's metal and good to go from that standpoint. It has latches all the way around. I've gone ahead and removed these little cotter pins. They're kind of spring-loaded jobs. Every single one of these latches will have these to make sure that you're secure. You could put a lock on these. There's one I would not, because that would not be legal. So here we go. In this one, again, it has a great gasket, a great seal around it. And then inside here, you could hold 2 5-gallon jerry cans, water, fuel, you name it, right there. Held open by a prop. This one is where you'll have your 2 propane tanks, about the size of a bottle that you would have, or the same exact bottle that you have for your standard barbecue pit. So there it is. You have both of them. You do have to switch them over manually when you have one tank run out. Now, this is vented in the bottom. You're not gonna be able to see it, but I can put my fingers through the floor here. You don't want to lock this. You have to be able to reach in to shut these bottles off should you need to in a pinch. This one is just storage. Nice bin for storage. Put whatever you want in there. I'm going to come down to this A-frame area. We're going to talk about quite a few of the things that we see. Again, you have that 6-inch by 2-inch galvanized frame. So very clear here, and it runs all throughout. You have this neat little water bib here, which is not common on most trailers, but just imagine the usefulness of having it on the tongue. You have your 7-pin connection, And then you have this Anderson connection. One thing that I have enjoyed the most putting on my personal trailer in the past few years is a DC to DC charger. It charges your battery so very much faster than your standard 7-pin 12-volt charge line. It can just handle more. So MDC-USA puts one on there. It's part of the RENOGY package, ready to go. All you have to do is make sure that your tow vehicle is wired to work with it. Not that big a deal. This is a handbrake for clenching down those brakes, those 12-inch brakes on the trailer. So let's say you need to detach, you can chalk your tires, or you can pull this up and disable the ability for them to roll. You will want to make sure that this is set up properly. I like to do both, just added safety is no big deal. This is a really cool, I mean, you've seen these jockey wheels before. They swing out of the way, so you don't have to roll them all the way up, and they're so heavy duty that you can really level a heavy trailer, much heavier than this, with ease. And also, this little handle here actually comes off so that it's not swinging around and banging around in transit. So, lots to like about that. You have some of the most heavy-duty chains I've seen on a trailer anywhere. They don't mess around. I think you could probably use one of these and swing this trailer around like a piñata. Don't try it. Please don't take my word for it. Don't test that. But this is a heavy-duty chain. They have hangers built onto the A-frame here, and your breakaway cable, and then this guy. This is a DO35 hitch. It does not work with your standard ball, 2-inch ball, 2 5/16 ball. It has its own little kind of spindle looking connection point that goes right up in the base here. Now the nice thing that I've found using these trailers, and I've towed them several times, is that I don't have to be directly over it. It actually will kind of self-direct, where if you back to it and you're a little off center this way or to the side just a little bit, it'll actually capture that pin, and then when you're lowering it down, it'll self-correct. Pretty cool. But how does it stay on? A tow ball obviously has a collar that kind of comes underneath the rim of that ball, and you're good to go. This has a, I'm going to say, a guillotine style capture system. That pin comes up through it, and then once it's in place and the weight of the tongue of the trailer is on that pin, you know it's seated. You just push this pin and it captures it beautifully, and you'll know that you're good to go if this cap fits down perfectly on it for transit. Dust out, plus a little bit of assurance. It works really well, and you'll notice lots of easy range of motion to make sure that if you're off-road, you're also held tight and secure. Really fantastic. There's a little light right here, and you won't be able to see it from where you are, but it goes to that Tucson unit to let you know that it's charged and it's thinking, its little brain's doing what it needs to do for sway control. All really cool. That brings me to the front again. You'll notice that floodlight on the front when you're working on your trailer at night. What a great situation this trailer is for your off-grid, your off-road travels. It's the XT19HRT from MDC-USA, and for 19-foot no-slide couples trailer, or if you want to bring kids or what have you, it has so many things going for it. And just having that RENOGY package, that much solar, that much battery capacity, outdoor fun galore, this is so very cool. And I don't care if you want to hit up more of the state parks and national parks, maybe your RV resorts, this trailer will look and work fantastic in that situation. If you want to hit more of the BLM land, maybe you want to use this for longer term, two-week long excursions into the wilderness. This trailer is built for it, but you can get back confidently as well. MDC-USA loves that. I'm Clint from Princess Craft RV. It has been a real pleasure showing you this XT19HRT Extreme, or Off-Grid Extreme. It's a really cool trailer. I hope you like it. I do encourage you to see it in person if you get the chance.